Hello Summoners! Matthew from the Nintendo Treehouse here with some quick tips for the Fire Emblem Heroes game. Around the beginning of Book 4, Divine Codes were introduced to the game, although I often talk about how to use new characters with their base skill kits. Today I'd like to talk about improving characters you already have using combat manuals obtained via Divine Codes. I'd like to use Legendary Ike as an example of how to build a hero with combat manuals, since anyone can get him by completing Xenologue 3 in the Paralogue section of Story Maps. There are two types of combat manuals, normal and limited time. I will use one of each to improve my Ike. To obtain Divine Codes needed for the combat manuals I want, I've been playing a lot of Mjolnir Strike and Arena for the normal Divine Codes, and limited time events like Hall of Forms, Forging Bonds, and more to get limited time Divine Codes. Now that I have my codes, I'm ready to pick up my combat manuals for Lewin on the Holy War path of normal combat manuals, and Kaze in the number 6 group of limited time combat manuals. Lewin has an extremely powerful skill called Special Spiral 3 that gives him a special cooldown count of -2 if a special triggers before or during combat. I want this because even though Ike's Warding Breath also accelerates his cooldown for Radiant Ether, his special has a high cooldown count of 4. With Special Spiral 3, I aim to have Ike use Radiant Ether almost every time he gets into combat. Kaze has a very useful skill for enemy phase tanks like Legendary Ike called Attack Smoke 3. Anytime Ike attacks an enemy, any enemy within 2 spaces of that target will be inflicted with -7 to their attack. My plan is for Ike to draw out enemies to attack him. Although the first enemy will be full strength, other enemies will be weakened significantly. Meanwhile, his native skill of Warding Breath in combination with Lewin's Special Spiral 3 will allow Ike to continuously heal himself while he defeats units using Radiant Ether. I want Ike to attack on the enemy phase as many times as possible, so the final piece of this kit is giving Ike the Quick Riposte Seal. This seal will guarantee him a follow-up attack if his HP is 70% or above. Since he is constantly healing himself with his special, this should not be a problem. Let's see these new skills in action. Ike is out front dealing with numerous foes in a single phase and doing a great job of surviving the heavy enemy assault. Weakened enemies can't do much damage to him, and the damage he does take is healed up by his special as he battles on. As you can see, combat manuals can be used in a way to make heroes in your barracks really shine brighter. Look through all the normal combat manuals to find skills that would benefit your favorite units, and then be sure to check in on the limited time combat manuals for even more options to help strengthen your heroes. That's all for today, Summoners. Good luck!